Okay, apologies in advance for the camera. We don't have much here, and I tried doing this on my phone and it was absolutely horrible. So I'm going to try doing it with Mandy's video camera. So I'm standing at the door as you walk into Stirling Soap, and I'll just take you in a quick walkthrough of the actual shop here. As I said in some of the posts below, we are really short on space out here, and we're getting ready to expand the shop so that we have more shelf space and also more storage space. You can see, I mean, we've got boxes of stearic, tallow, distilled water, just all of our wall space is in use for all of our labels, shelf space in use for labels. So here on the right, these are all the shelves of the post-shave balms. And it answers kind of one of the questions. This is all the space I have for post-shave balms, which will give you a hint of why. When some of you have asked, why don't you have a certain scent? Well, I have to cull some that aren't necessarily the best sellers, just simply because I don't have space for them. Oven over here, obviously for cooking all the oils, melting them down. We've got bins for storage of different things like caps. This shelf over here, all of our aftershaves, before they're filtered, they sit and they mature in the ethanol for however long it takes for the actual fragrance or essential oils to overtake the smell of ethanol before they're filtered out and bottled up and labeled and everything are ready to go. Down below is in the squeeze bottles. That's how we fill them up. They're filtered out into squeeze bottles, and then we use the squeeze bottles to actually fill the aftershaves. This dingy table here is our production table. We've only got one right now. Which means Mandy and I are extremely inefficient. We're getting ready to put in a second production table just as soon as the expansion's done, hopefully by the end of February. You'll see underneath the table, we've got all manner of oils, tallow, whatever else. We have to be good with our spaces. Over here is our main wrapping station. It's just a shrink wrapping station, heat gun, wand, silicone mat to keep you from burning into the table. Most of the actual orders are shipped here and on the station over here, which Mandy was actually currently using to make some post-shave balms. Station over here I'll use to cut up soap, which is what I was doing earlier when I took a break from making orders. This contraption right here has saved us a ton of time, just being able to actually cut a loaf rather than hand cutting every single soap like we used to. But normally this station right here is where we'll actually shrink wrap the bath soap, shrink wrap the shave samples and refill pucks. The shrink wrap used for that is actually different than the shrink wrap we use for wrapping orders. Wrapping orders is a 75 heavier gauge. This is 60 gauge. It's also biodegradable, turns to biomass in 3 to 5 years, and it's also perforated, micro perforated, so that it allows air to continue to pass through, so the soaps will actually continue to cure as long as they're in the packaging. Just more labels on the wall. Television, because we're out here for Lord knows how many hours and we need to be entertained. And this is just kind of our wall of catch everything that we need to be working on or things that we need to be catching up on. Over here is the wall of witch hazel and aloe aftershaves and pre-shave oils and beard oils, and also we have brushes lining the top walls. And again, you can see how this is all of my bottled aftershaves. This is all of my pre-shave oils. This is all of my witch hazel and aloe. So you can see I have no space to really add new product at this point. This wall, more brushes, lotions, top and bottom. And then the middle right here is aftershave samples. And then this section of bins right here, lip balm tubes and lip balm tubs. Which, if you haven't tried these, they're awesome. Moving on, just more bins for storage. More bins for storage. Over here, the red bins are all of our razors and razor heads, and then the actual razor blades, t-shirts, packing material, things like that. Nothing really exciting. Over here behind the wrapping station, though, these 2.5 shelves actually make up the majority of our shave soaps. So you can see that while we have a ton of soaps here, each line of samples, shave soaps, and refill pucks you see represents basically 1 cent. This is a full batch, like right here. Let me find one that was recently made. Oh, here we go. So this right here, I've got 4 lines you can see here of the almond cream, 10 pucks, and probably 25 samples. That's an average batch of soap for me. So while we have a ton of scents, we actually don't have a ton of soap. It helps us, keeps us nimble, but it also helps us to provide an array of scents. So hopefully, even if you hate 59 of our scents, maybe we have one that you do like. And over here, we've got some Overflow Shelves. This is some of our newer scents and some of our seasonal stuff. More t-shirts, more boxes for shipping, essential oils, fragrance oils, castor, a lot of our base oils down here. And then over here, we've got 2 baker's racks, which is our curing racks. So after the soap is cut out of the molds or has been poured into the jars, they'll sit here on the curing rack for an unspecified amount of time, however long it takes. I can tell at this point when a soap is ready. I don't really need to do a pH test on any of them anymore. A lot of them I'll actually, like with the bath soaps, I'll do what's called a Zap Test. I'll pick up a sample and I'll stick it to my tongue. If it's not ready, it feels like a 9-volt battery hitting your tongue. But typically, I mean, Mandy and I are skilled enough at our trade at this point that while I do actually test lather each batch of shave soap, I don't really feel the need to do a pH test on every batch. Over here is our 1 rack of bath soaps, and it is looking extremely light right now, meaning Mandy has a lot of soap to make. That's just, right now we're still only a week removed from being in Columbus, Ohio, visiting her family, so we have a lot of work left to do. Thankfully, orders have been slow for the past week, so I'm hoping we can be caught up by the end of next week. Over here is just a computer, the workstation. We print all our invoices here, do all our work. This is where Laura will be doing most of her work, when she's not actually up on the stations up front, doing what we call Tetrising the orders, figuring out how they're going to fit best in the box. There's literally thousands of combinations of way our products can go inside a box. And a good part of her job, other than being on the computer and actually shipping the orders, is being able to figure out how to put things together in the boxes to where A, it's going to look professional when the customer opens it, B, it's not going to get broken in transit, but C, it's also going to be shipped in the smallest box in the most cost-efficient way for us. Since we do only charge $3.95 for our soaps, for our shipping, it's imperative that we don't waste money on shipping. That would put us under in a heartbeat. So anyway, it's a gigantic mess over here at the computer. A lot of cleanup needs to go through, and once we actually get the expansion done on the shop, a lot of this in here is going to change. It's going to be a lot more efficient as far as how we set things up in the shop. And like I said, we'll have new production stations and 1 more shipping station. And then up top, using, we put stuff on ladders. Those are our brushes and other things that we store up top, because we have to buy our brushes in quantity of 1,000 for each style. So the excess brushes we're obviously not just going to leave sitting out in a non-temperature controlled environment. And there's the mini split, which does control our temperature. It's 30 degrees outside, but nice and cool in here. And let's see, let's take a quick look outside. So originally when we moved here, what you see was nothing more than the previous owner's garage. Not his actual attached to his house garage, but the garage that he worked on his tractor and his truck in. We cleaned it up, stained the floors, sealed them, had the walls put in, and so this building here was just, we've converted it to our workshop because we were previously, the first 3 years we were in business, we actually worked out of our home. Our master bedroom and kitchen were completely taken over by the soap company. In the past year, we moved out here in November of 2015 when Kurt was still with us. In the past year, we've also put in this small storage building, and I'm not going to open the doors because it's a disaster. We keep all of our extra shipping boxes to help save on money and keep shipping costs down. We also buy our boxes by the thousands. We actually have, they bring a 48-foot truck full of boxes up the ridge. Up here, you can see in the background, we're kind of high up, and drop off all of our boxes for us. So to save money, we put a building in, and we actually buy as much as we can to keep prices low. This past summer, we filled this building up, and as we continued to grow, we had a third building put here on the property. And again, I'm not going to open this one, but in part of our move to new packaging, it's the same thing. If you're going to be able to buy packaging that doesn't look like something that was, that's made for a farmer's market, you're going to be buying in the quantities of 5,000 to 10,000 pieces at a minimum. So this building here, in addition to having our overflow boxes, also contains 10,000 lotion bottles, 10,000 post-shave balm bottles. I don't know how many thousands of our green jars, thousands of our aftershave bottles. It's a part of doing business. We wanted to make a professional product, so rather than buying in the dozens or hundreds of a time, we took out a loan, we built the building, and we bought a couple of years worth. Well, not I'm hoping not a couple of years worth, but we bought thousands upon thousands of bottles and boxes, and it's been for the best. I'm really happy that we've done it. Gives our product a lot more professional look, and it also, in the end, once everything is paid off for that, it will make our product more profitable as we'll be paying less per item. So anyway, that's pretty much the end of the tour. That's all there is. The expansion is going to be taking place on this area. It'll be coming out on the concrete pad that we had put in when we put this building right here in. This concrete pad didn't used to be here, which made rainy, snowy days absolutely miserable. And here's something Mandy and I built for Yachty and Paige because they're not allowed anywhere inside the shop, but they want to be outside near us all day long when we're out here, so they have to have somewhere to stay. And then so anyway, I'm going to try to upload this, and I will get back inside and start answering more of the questions for the AMA. Thanks for watching.